Rev up your engines!
Now, here's a woman who's mad, and I don't blame her. She goes out and buys a $65,000 Toyota Grand Highlander, and now her navigation system doesn't work, and she has to pay for the app to work, and she also has to pay for the app to use her remote starter, so she can start it up and warm it up in the winter. Tori purchased the 2024 Grand Highlander. She loves it. Well, all of a sudden, the navigation isn't working on it, and hey, when she tries to push the button to start, it won't, and there's a thing that says, you now have to pay per month for this. She found out when she pushed the key fobs, the car wouldn't start from outside. Then she put a destination in her GPS on the vehicle, and it says you have to subscribe to the Toyota Drive Connect for it to go. Then you got to pay by the month. She's waving in her little video and says, I have a Grand Highlander I paid $60,000 for, and my subscription now costs me money. You'd think these people would learn. A couple years ago, Mary Barr, the head of GM, says, we're going to become a software company. We're going to make billions selling software, selling subscriptions, right? Well, guess what? It didn't pan out. You know, other companies have tried that, and people who bought the car say, I paid all this money for a car and I can't access it. Now, I don't give a crap about the navigation. I use Google navigation, baby. It's better than the crap that these manufacturers have. Who cares about that? But if you live up north, you want to start your car, heat it up, hey, and now you got to pay for it, and it was free for a while. They suckered you into it. Toyota, you're evil. Stop doing this to people. Yeah, you're making a subscription every month. Too bad. You made $60,000, and now you're trying to nickel and dime people. So what I say, you people are slimes. All of them. They just, all that money, and they don't even give you some little thing. What is our whole society turned into a bunch of greedy swines, right? That's just ridiculous. Pay all that money, and then you got to start paying. And they sucker you into doing it. It's like something that really pees me off. I'll be watching a movie or something on TV, right? You're watching it, and then you find out, oh, if you want to watch the rest, you got to pay. You got to subscribe to, blah, blah, blah. I hate that, you know? And the weirdest thing is, some of these subscriptions, you're paying. You say, okay, I'll pay the $12 a month for this so I can watch this, right? And then you got to watch ads. Now, wait a second. If I'm paying extra money on top of what I'm already paying to watch the Netflix or Amazon or whatever, got to pay extra to watch other shows which have ads in them. It makes no sense. It's like buying a car for $60,000. Service works for a short time. Then all of a sudden you got to pay per month. No, this isn't acceptable. We should never accept these things. Don't accept this crap. Tell the companies we hate this because you know what? They're in business to sell you cars. And if people get mad and say, hey, you're going to charge me this, they might go to another company and say, they're not charging it. There's competition out there. We can't let them all get away with murder. Because if they do, they'll all do it. Well, guess what? Tesla Cybertrucks are piling up on used car lots. Obviously, people don't like them. They're selling them. Now, they're sitting there for quite some time. The average one now takes almost 3 months to sell once it's sitting there. But these are brand new trucks, and people are getting rid of them all ready. That really says something, right? Even though the Tesla Cybertruck was America's best-selling electric pickup in the second quarter of 2024, right? That doesn't mean much. People don't like electric pickup trucks. Americans do not buy that many of them. For example, Ford only sold 4,466 of their Ford Lightning electric pickup trucks in the second quarter of 2023. So, we're not talking about a massive volume of vehicles, right? But the fact that they're piling up in used car lots, people are just find, oh man, I don't like this thing. Let's get rid of this thing, right? Of course, originally they were over 100,000. Now they're going way down because people just aren't buying them. Now they're down to $70-something thousand brand new. People are paying well over 100,000. Well, they aren't anymore. And the people who were dumb enough to buy them, a lot of them are now selling them on used car lots. And the used car lots, of course, have too many of them lying around. It takes too long to sell them. A market analyst for Car Guru, Kevin Roberts, says, and I quote, the number of days Cybertrucks sit is getting longer and the price is coming down, and I can tell you the sales volume has come down too. So, feel sorry for the poor suckers who bought these things and they think, oh, we're going to sell them, we're going to make money. Don't ever think you can buy something new and then sell it and make money, except in the very beginning when people were dumb enough, oh, I got to get my hands on one, I'll pay anything, right? Well, now people are saying, Whoa. I mean, just the other day, I went to Nashville for Christmas shopping. I saw one in a parking lot. I said, look, there's a Tesla. My wife looked at it and said, look at that thing, it's filthy. You get a stainless steel exterior and leave it outside in the winter. Salt, snow, dirt, they look like crap. Fridges are bad enough. You got to keep cleaning your fridge that's stainless steel, right? And that's inside a house. Touch it with your fingers, grease gets on it, dust gets on it. Outside, whew, and a lot of people are realizing it looks like a dirty garbage can. Well, I read a hilarious article. Renewable energy. Norway may cut the cords. They got a lot of windmills there, right? Wind turbines and solar panels. But guess what they found out? They call it there Dunkelflatte, which is anticyclonic gloom. Turns out in the winter, the wind doesn't blow much there, and the sun don't shine in Norway much in the winter, right? So, the wind stopped blowing across northern Europe. They didn't have enough electricity. And one guy wrote, hilariously enough, it gets dark at night. It gets darker in the winter. Night falls early in the winter. Who would have thought of that? Right? And of course, what did the Europeans say? Well, don't worry about it. When the sun doesn't shine and the wind isn't blowing, we'll get electricity from our friends in the south, from Germany and other places, right? Well, guess what? Yes, they can get the shortfall by supplying their electricity from the people below them. We still live in a capitalist world, baby, even in Europe. The southern Europeans, they just raised the price of the electricity or something, and they're gouging them. I was in Houston and at Enron, and they deliberately, from what I've read, set up deals. They sold a lot of electricity to California from Texas when California needed it. And they even did, the guys at Enron, because I had a customer that worked there, they were deliberately shutting down power plants in California for maintenance, right? So the price of electricity would go up in California because they had to buy it from Texas and other places. So Texas just reamed them and charged them as much as they possibly could. One of the many reasons Enron went out of business, right? Well, look at this. With this lack of wind and sun in Norway, electricity prices rose in Norway to $1.18 per kilowatt hour. You know what I was paying when I was in Houston? 8.3 cents per kilowatt hour. And these people are paying $1.18 per kilowatt hour. Yeah, and they say, oh, great, it's going to save us money. No, it isn't. Now the Norwegians are sitting twiddling their thumbs like, why are we paying so much for this electricity? What could possibly have gone wrong? Our scientists promised us this stuff would work. But the Germans, man, they're cashing in, right? Yeah, now paying us $1.18 a kilowatt hour. $1.18, I was paying 8.3 cents. Yeah, this stuff's going to save us all money, isn't it? As the Norwegians are finding out. And of course, as far as I'm concerned, they're really idiots. They're in Norway, way up there. Solar panels up there, yeah. Whew, they don't get much sun most of the year there. I didn't realize the wind stops blowing at certain times, too. I guess it turns out that government bureaucrats all over the world are morons. Not just here in the United States. In Norway, too. Well, our society's certainly gone insane, and I think it was going in the wrong direction. Let's hope it starts changing. A GM executive resigned from the board of a Michigan Minority Supplier Development Council. One guy quit. Actually, a few of them quit. 3 GM executives vacated their board seats on this Michigan Minority Development Council. To me, that stuff is all completely wrong, and it's a symptom of what's wrong with our society. Somebody is supposed to get a contract to make something or to do something, whether it's intellectual or they're actually building things, right? Based on who does the best job building it, not on who they are. Right? I don't care who you are. If you can do something, I don't care who you are when you're flying a plane I'm in. I want the person who's best at flying that plane. Not, well, they got the job because, no, I want whoever's best at flying. I don't care. And for once, I kind of agree with GM. Leave a board like that. People should not get a job based on anything other than they're the best person to fulfill that job. I don't want a doctor operating on me. Well, we had to hire that person because, I remember years ago, I went to Toyota dealership in Houston to buy a part. And the only reason I went there was because it was a late model car. I couldn't buy the part anywhere else. I was overpaying for the customer, but I couldn't get it anywhere else, right? So I go get it, I put it in the car, and it almost fries the guy's car. And I look at it, the guy gave me one that fit on, but it was the wrong one, right? I looked at the serial numbers. They were completely different. So I go back, And I said, I want to see the manager. And the manager came, and I said, man, you need to fire that guy. He's an idiot. I waited for half an hour, then he sold me the wrong part and almost destroyed my customer's car. I said, Scotty, I'm sorry, but we had to hire these people under this minority law because our dealership is so big. The government said we don't have enough minorities working here. And he said, I can't get rid of the guy. But I said, he almost destroyed my customer's car by selling me the wrong part. He doesn't know what he's doing. This is ridiculous. That kind of stuff should never happen, especially if it's at a bigger level. Well, I got the job because, we had to hire somebody that we didn't have before. We had to hire certain minorities. That's nonsense. Total and absolute nonsense. And I hope this stuff stops. Just give it to whoever's best at doing the job. Yeah, when it comes to big jobs, of course, there's corruption everywhere. We all know that. I mean, when I'm on the East Coast, there's so much corruption in the construction business, it'll make your head spin, right? But this kind of stuff needs to stop, that somebody gets a job just because. It should have nothing to do with people getting jobs. That's all I have to say. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.